On today's episode, we have Natalie Trapasso. She's a registered dietitian out of Buffalo, New York. Growing up, she struggled with her own weight and relationship with food, starting her first diet at the age of 12. She became a dietitian to help women lose weight without trying insane diets and the struggle of not knowing what to eat. She identifies as a lazy girl and has made it her mission to make weight loss as efficient and simple as possible. You can find her on Instagram at lazygirl.weight loss. Welcome to the show, Natalie.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So let's kick this off by starting with where you started out versus where you are now. Can you share with the listeners a bit of your story?
Yeah, so I truly started from zero. I knew how to post on Instagram. However, I didn't know how to get any clients. I was not clear with who I was talking to, and nothing was happening for me. So now I actually have a private practice, and I've been able to attract clients, which is always exciting. It's still a shock for me.
I know it's a shock for a lot of people, especially using Instagram as a means to attract clients can be very shocking for many. So thanks for sharing that and inspiring others to let them know, hey, it's absolutely possible. So since you did start from zero, you've now figured out who you're working with. So can you tell us the type of clients you work with and a bit about your current niche?
Yeah, so currently I work with women who are struggling to lose weight for 1 to 2 reasons. Either they don't want to give up any foods they love, so I teach them how to incorporate those foods into their weight loss plan. And two, they think that weight loss is too much work, so they're either too busy and they don't want it to consume all their free time, or they just don't know where to start. So I try to make weight loss as simple as possible for them. So
I
yeah, it's just as efficient and simple as possible.
I love that because not only is your handle Lazy Girl Weight Loss, your plan is simple and there's just so much cohesion with that your message and your brand is really aligned with making it as easy for them as possible. So that is great. And it makes it easy for them to find you on social media.
Thank you.
And would you say that you were playing around with which audience you were really trying to attract? So can you share with us a little bit, if at all your niche has evolved, how you started versus where you are now?
Yeah, so I think that even when I became a registered dietitian, I knew that I always wanted to work with weight loss. However, I didn't really know who I was trying to work with. So I knew that when I was growing up, I had such a bad relationship with food myself, and I struggled with weight, and it was always like, I'm going to cut carbs, that's what I was told. I did Weight Watchers. I think I started my first diet at age 12. So I just knew that I didn't want anybody to go through that themselves, because I know that so many women are the same way. I just wanted to heal the whole mindset around weight loss. So that's why I picked women, just because I can relate to them. And I know that most women have gone through that. So
Incredible. Thanks for sharing. Oftentimes, your personal experiences can be what you can draw from to pursue your passion and really find the work that brings you joy and gives you meaning, which is so important.
right.
And can you share with us if you've always had a dream to start your private practice? Like, what led you to take action and decide, I'm going to start promoting myself on Instagram shamelessly? I'm going to find my ideal client who's essentially me. Can you share with us about that?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I never actually thought I could be my own boss. So after graduating, I got a temporary job at a food bank and then jumped right into clinical after that. So while I was appreciative to have that job, it just wasn't aligned with my beliefs. So clinical is so tough because most of the patients aren't excited to see you. Like, we're so excited as dietitians, like, I'm here to help you with your nutrition. And they're just like, eh. So seeing patient after patient all day, most of them just brush you off, or they just complain about the food. It does get emotionally draining. So I became a dietitian to help people, and the people that I want to help are not really in the hospitals and nursing homes. They're out in the community. So that's why I decided to just go for it. I want to help people that want my help. And that's
Yeah.
really what pushed me to start.
Yeah. Embarking on this journey can be tough, but you also have to frame it and look at what you're currently doing, like having these unenthusiastic interactions with clients, working in parts of nutrition that aren't really aligned with you. When you really play the other side about where your life could be if you don't make this change into private practice, really, really, really motivates you. Like when you really start to think about it, like, oh, do I want to be stuck here? No, you want to get out there and you want to push yourself to find people that are going to be so happy and not complain about what's on their meal plan for the week.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It just does get emotionally draining after a while.
Absolutely. So, what's one or two tips that you can provide the listeners about how to effectively build know, like, and trust factor, especially since most of them are coming from clinical settings, they're coming from food banks, and this is all new to them. And they may be very much like you, didn't even have a dream of private practice, but they want to get out. They want to be more enthusiastic about what they do. So, what are a few tips that you can provide them?
So definitely just putting yourself out there and being consistent. So people are just looking for a resource. They want to get to know you before they buy from you. And especially on social media where there's so many people out there doing what we're doing, the more you can show yourself, the more you can stand out. And that's just what they're looking for. They need a resource so they can say, hey, I know I'm having a bad day today. Maybe I can go. I know Natalie shows up, so I'm going to go check her out and she can help motivate me. So I think that just really helps being consistent and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, my key takeaways were show up and stand out.
Yeah.
Yes, Natalie says it, so go ahead and do it, guys. It's not going to hurt. And now that you've gotten more consistent in showing up and standing out from the crowd and attracting your ideal client, can you share with us how much money you have made and like what's your next money goal?
Yeah, so far I've made about $750 in my private practice, starting out from zero. And then my next goal is to hit 2,000. So that's like my next goal. And then my
Oh,
long-term goal would be I want to hit 5,000 a month.
nice. It's going to happen. It's going to
Yeah.
happen. I feel it. I feel
Thank you.
it.
Definitely writing it down though. I write it down every day in a notepad. Like I will make $2,000. I will do this, and it just makes it so much more real when you write it out and know your why. Why are you doing this? I want to help women lose weight.
I love it. I love that you write it down every day. That is a good takeaway from this, is just writing that freedom number is what I like to call it. What's
Yeah.
my freedom number? And then why am I doing this? So, so, so important. So thanks for providing that little tip. And can you share with us what this money has afforded you? Like, is there something that you've done with the money that you've made sales from so far?
Yeah. So I've been chipping away at my student loans. So my goal is just to pay them off completely, but that's what I've been doing with it. And obviously just enjoying life and taking little trips with my husband on the weekends. But yeah,
Yay.
it's
Such
exciting.
good, yeah, such good stuff. Fun trips, yeah, student loans, yes, important, but the fun little trips, I got
Yeah.
excited about
A little bit for the student loans, a little bit for fun.
that. Awesome. And can you share a little bit about your money story and your beliefs around money? Because obviously people aren't getting in this field because we make a ton of money. And especially going into some of these occupations in nutrition, you see that there's a limit, there's a cap. So that can translate into these limiting beliefs when you go in private practice. So can you share with us any of those stories and give us some insights into that?
Yeah, so I definitely had a fixed mindset around money. So I earned what my boss told me I could earn, and that's it. And the only way to make more money was to get more jobs. So now after seeing this and seeing what Libby has done with all of us, it's definitely opened my eyes to how much money we could actually make as dietitians in our own private practice, doing what we love to do and getting the clients we want to get. It's actually very empowering, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
Oh, I love it. Something you own and that empowers you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, it's
chills.
awesome.
Like the hairs on my arms are standing up. Who doesn't want ownership and not have someone tell you you can't earn 5,000? Yes, I can. I have a private practice.
Yeah.
This is so good. So good. The mindset around it is so important. So I love that you were vulnerable enough to share that with the audience. Because a lot of people have the same thinking, they've had similar experiences, and hearing your story is going to motivate them. So thank you. And can you share with us your experience using social media to grow your private practice? Like start off, like how'd you start off? You can walk us from the start to where you are now.
Yeah, so I was never actually into social media. Like it's been definitely a process getting used to showing up every single day because I was always that person that like, oh, I forgot to take a picture and oh, I would have to be tagged in my friends' pictures. So it's definitely taken some getting used to, but I just love how many more people you can reach on social media than you can in person. So there's people that want to be found out there, and it's it's awesome how you can just reach people from all over the country, all over the world. So that's also something I also write down every day is like, you can help so much more people this way. So just keep at it, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to get there.
I specifically love that you mentioned reach. Like being online allows you to just reach more people, and being able to reach more people allows you to get on more calls, make more money, and reach every single dream you have for yourself, which is so important. That is the most beautiful thing about Instagram
Right.
and the reach that it garners you. And can you share with us, like, even more specifically about your social media feed, like your IG feed, where you started versus what it looks like now?
Yeah. So when I started my feed, it had no direction. I was talking to everyone about everything. I think there was some weight loss on there. I was even doing some like intuitive eating, like food pictures. I was just doing everything. But now it's much more clear. You when you go on my page, you know who I'm talking to, what I'm talking about, and that's just helped me stand out more and get more clients that way. So when I first started, I was talking to everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people do, because admittedly, when you start this journey, you don't know, because you're not given a roadmap when you log on to Instagram. They don't email you, here's your roadmap for how to use Instagram. Unfortunately, we don't get that document. So
Right.
you just go off and you do whatever. And it's great. The great thing about the Dietitian Boss program is that you're able to get a roadmap and have a clear direction, which affords you an opportunity to not waste time and post things that aren't going to get you the money you want.
Exactly.
And now that you have gotten to this place where you're more clear, you're talking to one person, you're not doing dieting and intuitive eating and food pictures, you're talking about one problem only and one solution. This means that you've now gotten to the point where people want to buy from you. And that comes with a sales call process. So how do you approach sales, and how has your mindset evolved around sales?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I was so scared of sales calls. I'm not a salesperson. I never thought I could be a salesperson, but now I'm much more positive about it because I know what I'm doing. I went to school for this. I've helped people in the past, and I know that I could just help more people. So just reminding myself of that, giving myself a little pep talk before. Um, it makes it so much easier, and you just get more confident with it.
Yeah, Natalie, you are so on point. So many people like zoom way out and they look at themselves like, I'm not qualified. I'm like, but if you zoom in and look at things like, you went to school for this, you probably had rotations where you met people like your ideal client. You might be your own ideal client. So many people feel that way. So I love that you give yourself a pep talk and you write down and remind yourself you are qualified, you have the experience. You just have to remind yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
So for people out there that are afraid, they haven't made that leap to like take a bet on themselves, they want to, but they need some advice. So what advice do you have for someone who's scared to show their face and show up on Instagram?
So I know it could be scary, especially talking on the stories. Before starting Libby's program, I was so nervous. I remember telling my husband, I was like, she's going to make me talk on my stories, and I don't want to do that. I'm so scared of it. But you kind of just have to rip the Band-Aid off. So, and most people that know me, they know that I'm more of a quiet person, and they did reach out to me saying, I love your confidence on your stories. Like, I've been watching you every day, which was so awesome for me to get that little confidence boost. So people are out there, they're gonna love you. Just ripping off the Band-Aid. It gets easier every day. I think my first story, it took me like 45 minutes. I kept deleting it. I was like, oh no, I stuttered, or oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. Just doing it, showing up for your audience so they can find you and eventually become your clients.
I love that. You do have to rip the Band-Aid. And thanks for reminding me. I still need to go on and post in my stories today. That was a good reminder. I'm like, yeah, I got to do that today. But you're right. You have to do it. And even if it's 8 o'clock at night, like it's about to be for me, or it takes you 45 minutes and you keep deleting, just show up and do it. Do it imperfectly. And just doing it, like you said, you get better every time.
It gets more comfortable every time you do it.
Oh, yeah. And for people who are out there and they're in clinical right now and they're thinking, gosh, I'm ready to escape, would you say that you have like any clinical stories that kind of like inspired you to take action and really shift to this space? Is there anything that you would like to share that's been like a good like motivation boost in pursuing this entrepreneurship journey?
I have so many clinical stories. I mean, some of them are terrible, some of them are good, but I know the worst, this was a real low point for me, is my boss, he forced all of the dietitians to scrub clean the serveries. So we went into work and we were told we were not allowed to leave work until they were spotless. So we all spent hours cleaning. And so that was just like a real low point for me. And I was like, I can't do this. This is not what I wanted to do with my career. I want to help people, not do what other people are telling me to do.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Oh my God. Yeah, I have like this grit teeth emoji. You guys can't see it because it's audio, but my face is like,
yeah, that was definitely a low point. I mean, there are definitely some good times too, but I just want to be able to help the people that I want to help. And unfortunately, they're not the ones in the hospitals and long-term care.
and that's a fair point. It's all about doing what you love. You went to school for this, you invested in this. You might as well be able to be in a position where you like what you do and you love the people you help.
Right.
So, what advice would you give to a dietitian starting out?
So you can do it. You went to school for years. I know it might not seem like you know what you're talking about, but you do. You know how to help people, and people are looking for the help. They need the help. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
I love that. I love that. And I would love the listeners to know what's next in your business. Let's close this out hearing like the big goals you have for yourself.
Yeah, so I'm going to be starting my first group program soon. I know, that's so exciting. So just to continue doing groups until I reach all my financial goals. So that's what's next for me.
Woohoo! I did a little dance. I was like, yes, I'm living for it. Well, I can't wait to see you smash all your goals. I can't wait for an update interview where we hear about you reaching every single financial goal you've set for yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on air.
Thank you for having me.